What's going on, everyone? So something I've talked about heavily is that I believe the Lakers are going to make a trade. Now, is it going to be the grandiose trade? Is it going to be Jeremy Grant or, Cam Johnson and Walker Kessler? Is it going to be Zach LaVine? Is it going to be somebody that is impactful and significant, or several pieces? That I don't know. But the idea of at least salary dumping, at least clearing enough to get to your taxpayer mid-level, at least kind of clearing up some roster spots to bring in, a free agent or two, that I believe is going to happen. Again, I don't know for certain. I'm just guessing here, but it's something that talked about heavily that I do expect a trade at some point. Now, obviously, it's not the sexiest thing, right? The sexy trade would be a Jeremy Grant, would be a Cam Johnson, would be something like that rather than just a salary dump trade. But at least it'd be a move in particular to bring somebody or somebodies in to upgrade the roster even slightly. Reports are coming out that the Lakers are active in trying to find various trades to salary dump, maybe even potentially unload D'Angelo Russell, right? The Lakers have all these options and all these flexibilities to explore, right? You can work something out to where maybe you can unload D'Lo. Maybe a team would be willing to take on D'Lo for a second or two just because, he's an expiring contract, so it's not this long-term salary. And it's like, we could use D'Lo. Maybe we could flip him somewhere else and get another second on top of it, right? And Lakers clear salary. Or maybe it's, Cam Reddish and Christian Wood, because you got to remember, the Lakers, based on reports, supposedly want to keep Jackson Hayes. Now, I would rather keep Christian Wood, but my guess is Jackson Hayes, 1, is a real 7-footer, 2, his age, 24, so he has plenty of upside. And right now, at the moment, they don't really have another center to back up Anthony Davis, and Christian Wood is kind of better off at the 4 than he is the 5. But the Lakers, I do think, are going to make some type of move. Now, you might be thinking, why don't you just do the salary dump? If you're working on a salary dump trade, do it. Get it over with. Get it done. But it, again, boils down to patience. Because look at it from the perspective of Rob Pelinka and the Lakers in general, right? You have two paths of clearing roster spots and dumping salary. You have the path, which is you have to give up assets in order to have somebody do that for you. So you have to give up essentially 2 firsts in order to do that, right? The other path is it just happens naturally through a trade that benefits you, right? Let's say you could, buy a pizza and a soda for $5, but if you buy each individually, it's $7, right? Like, why would you spend the $7 when you can get both for $5? It's kind of the same idea, right? Instead of unloading contracts and then freeing up roster space and having to give up 2 seconds to do that currency, right? You can potentially do a trade for, say, again, a Jeremy Grant. Now you go and you get a piece that you want. You get a actual return, and you end up giving less than you would otherwise, right? I mean, I guess you could even say it'd be like you have one option where it's just the pizza, and then one option where you get the pizza and the soda, right? Like, so to me, it's like you can kill 2 birds with 1 stone. The other route, Lakers are going to be patient, but they're also looking for options out there. A lot of people I see, and I get it. I get the frustrations, but you got to keep in mind, 1, we're in the offseason. That's what this is. That's what this is about. That's what this is for, right? Is to find and explore trades, find the best course of action in which to take, right? But it's good that the Lakers have these many options. As frustrating as it is, because we're watching other teams do X, Y, and Z, they're not us. They're not in the same positions we're in. Some teams have more assets. Some teams are willing to take a risk on a guy that just doesn't necessarily make as much sense for us, right? And you have to look at the entire package here, right? Like, what has happened, right? DeJounte Murray, that one hurts. That's a trade that I feel like could have been done, that the Lakers could have gotten for a reasonable price and fell through. Outside of that, what is done that would have been that significant and important that it's like, man, I can't believe we missed out on that guy, and that was reasonable and realistic, right? Klay Thompson chose the money. He wanted to get paid, he wanted to get the bag, he went there, and he went to Dallas, right? DeMar DeRozan, same thing, chose the money. Miles Bridges chose the money, right? All the trades that have happened so far have all been sign in trades because the players want the most money, right? And none of those, like, I liked DeMar DeRozan. I thought DeMar DeRozan could have been a real ceiling raiser. But what did I keep saying? We need more than just DeMar DeRozan. It's DeMar DeRozan and it's Klay Thompson and. But if you end up having to sell the farm to do that, now you're losing and missing out on the and. Right? So to me, Lakers need to continue to explore the possibilities. If they weren't, I would be upset. I know some people look at it and go, oh man, like they're all this talk, no action. But that's the process, right? Do you just walk into a car dealership and buy the car right off the lot for whatever price? If you do, you need to stop because you're just throwing away money. Or do you walk in and have that initial conversation? Do you take your time and go, oh, what about this car? What about this car? Let me go check another dealership and see if they have the same car cheaper, right? It's the same process. Whenever you're buying something, you're not just taking the initial asking price if you have opportunities to get it less or something similar more, right? Like, again, especially if you get the name brand for cheaper, right? Like, are you just walking in and taking every offer at the moment it's presented? Well, then, man, I have some stuff to sell you. If that's the case, get in contact with me because I got a lot of stuff I can sell you at a great price, right? Like, but no, in all seriousness, right? Like, I would be mad if this wasn't the case. Because that means Rob Pelinka isn't doing his job. So many people talk about Rob Pelinka isn't doing his job and he's bad at his job and all that stuff. But again, he is doing his job because there are all these options that are coming to rise. You don't leave any stone unturned because as soon as you do, you miss out on a real opportunity. Sometimes you miss out on other things, but that's the beauty of having so many options because you have option A, B, C, D, E to where all you need is like, A and B would be great, right? But C and D combined would be better, right? Like, so your hope is that one of those things kind of fall in line. But the Lakers, look, again, they're being active. They're trying to find that move. And look, it's just which domino falls first, right? Is it the domino where the Lakers have to do the salary dump? They bring in, say, Gary Trent and bring in like a Spencer Dinwiddie, two guys that have been linked to them. I know there was a report about Gary Trent, like, oh, Lakers are out on Gary Trent. They're not. It's like, again, if you read the report, it says that like they would have to do a salary dump to clear salary. And it's just the headline was just that way. I don't know why, but whatever. But nonetheless, right, Lakers could still go get a Gary Trent, assuming he's willing to take the taxpayer mid-level. He's kind of waiting out in hopes for a better deal, but if push comes to shove, supposedly, he'd take a one-year deal in that regard. So do the Lakers end up taking the salary dump route to free up to go get a Gary Trent Jr., or are they able to kind of do that within the scope of getting that asset, right? Utah's a team that I've talked about heavily. You could can you get a Walker Kessler and convince Utah to take on some salary, right? Can you turn, I don't know, D'Angelo Russell into a Walker Kessler, and now you freed up some money to go do some other stuff, got trade exception, you got all this stuff. Can you do something like that, right? To where now you have more flexibility, now you can do other things. I know people are like, oh, I don't want to give D'Lo for Walker. No, it's about getting Kessler and for D'Lo. Like, yeah, if you're just swapping it, yeah, D'Lo's value, I think, is higher, but, it's one of the, maybe not in the perception of teams, but as far as, like, the production he gives you. Or, you look at a team like, Wendell Carter Jr., right, who's recently been linked to the Lakers. He's a guy that, he's making just a hair under $12 million. They want D'Angelo Russell. Can you do something to where you basically just swap D'Lo for, Wendell Carter Jr.? Maybe there's, a couple seconds or something like that in between, but can you do something like that to where the Lakers are able to shed $6 million? Now you shedded the money you needed to shed in order to free up the taxpayer mid-level. Yes, you just traded D'Lo for Wendell Carter, but you traded D'Lo for Wendell Carter and maybe a Gary Trent Jr., right? So now you get those two guys that fill two positions of need. It depends on what the options are. My guess, and again, this is just my guess, my opinion, my guess is that if the Lakers do just a sole salary dump type move, it's for one of two reasons. Either A, Gary Trent is getting impatient and he's like, guys, come on. I'm either going to go sign with this team or sign with you. Take your choice, right? Like Spurs, right? It's either like, hey, look, Spurs are offering me taxpayer mid-level. I'm tired of waiting. I want to get a contract secured, get it done, over with, and out the way. And the Lakers like, we don't want to lose him. We actually want him. Fine, we'll do the salary dump trade. Something like that. Or they just can't find anybody that's within reason to take on a salary dump. Because again, you're going to have to give up. No one's just going to take on salary or help you free up cap space just out of the kindness of their heart. Right? I wish it worked like that, but unfortunately it doesn't. It's not like I'll get you later type thing. No, it's we need something now. So what does that cost? Is it 2-3 seconds, or can you do it for a second? Now, and you also got to keep in mind, teams know that if the Lakers are doing that, then there's probably a reason. They're not just clearing salary space and clearing roster spots just for fun, right? They're not doing it just to get under an apron or whatever. They're doing it because there's a plan in place and there's somebody or somebodies that is available that the Lakers want to acquire. So it's like, hey, how badly do you want that guy? Right? It's business at the end of the day. But anyway, as always, this is a discussion. I pass the question on you. Let me know your thoughts at the pit is down in the comments below. What do you think? How do you feel? What are your thoughts? Do you agree? Do you think get salaried up trade, but be patient, see if you can free it up with like a Jeremy Grant or, like I said, Carter Jr. or can you do it with a Walker Kessler? There's still a lot of options out there, and that's good. Again, it's a good thing. That's what you want to see. You want to have that type of like, okay, there's potential here. You have option A, B, C, D, E, so on and so forth. You just need one. But again, however you feel, whatever your thoughts are, let me know down in the comments below. That being said, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Helps me a lot. Helps me enjoy these types of videos, and I truly appreciate it. Now, subscribe to the channel, hit that subscribe button, turn on the bell notifications. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next one. Thank you.